Hello everybody, welcome back to the Lord of the Rings, the Third Age walkthrough. We're just looking over Hadhod's passives here. In all honesty, I wish I would not have started on Lordly Might. I think that not only battle-hardened armor or overwhelming axes actually would have been my next pick. In all honesty, that's gonna make every axe skill crit while you are in perfect mode. And for the foreseeable future, I will be in perfect mode as I tend to not use those abilities. So you know that's gonna literally double every single axe craft ability that he uses as far as damage, that is. So yeah, so very, very useful. And then on top of that, in all honesty, I am not going to be building him, you know, as far as, like, more as a physical type oriented character. So the strength from Lordly Might, I will not be getting much out of that. You know, as the game progresses, yes, he will do, you know, gradually more and more damage due to that. Or get, I should say, he gets, basically what it's going to do for you is give you more bang for your buck as far as strength goes. And it seems to me that that's a percentage-based ability. It's the same. It's essentially the same benefit as something like Elagos' Hands of the Bowman, as that increases his dexterity, and that's a, as far as I can tell anyway, that's a percentage-based. So it's going to, it's really nice. Again, though, honestly, the way I build Hadhod, I don't get much out of that passive, so I find that other passives are more beneficial for my playstyle. Alright, so we've got, obviously, Berthor got stunned right away, which I guess that turned out okay, since he is now not stunned. And that's kind of weird. So maybe that's because his speed is so high. But normally I would expect that, you know, the enemy that stunned him would have got a turn sooner than him. But that is not the case. It looks like his stun wore off, and then I think Idriel had a turn there, and yeah, I don't know. That seems a little weird. Again, maybe that's because of his speed stat. I'm not really sure, but. Normally, on a stun like that, I would fully expect that enemy to get another turn before the target of said stun wore off. If that makes sense, boy, that's a mouthful. Anyways, back into some crippling shots here to get this guy down. Ooh, and a big whiff. Alright, well, that was embarrassing. I miss you, you miss me. And I don't know, did I get Idriel in there to at least get an attack off? I sure hope so, or I would expect so. Yeah, man, so many misses. I must have, I'm not sure if I used Valor or not. I'm betting that's part of the issue there. Alright, what's the plan here? What? Okay, well, I guess the battle is definitely under control, so I guess I don't have to worry too much about that. Yeah, okay. By under control, I mean that guy was one shot away from being dead. Oh yeah, alright, so I did get Idriel in there. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this in one of the previous videos or not, but your characters do get a tiny bonus for making the kill shots on these enemies. So, you know, if you end up with, I guess, one guy that's crazy powerful, or, you know, does way more damage than somebody else, there's a good chance that he's going to keep getting more powerful, which, you know, isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just kind of a neat little bonus, I suppose. Alright, what do we got here? Alright, looks like a vet. let's go ahead and put you to sleep. This is a bad idea. Alright, so Flaming Fury's gonna have a really long cooldown time. So Hadhad won't be getting a turn anytime soon here, but oh, okay, alright, I guess I'm just bringing in Idriel to go for a stunning strike. What? How did she get another turn? Oh, never mind, I know why. Alright, so being that the first enemy was sleeping, and you know, Arrow of Sleep takes so long, or is such a long reuse time, coupled with the fact that Hadhad just used an ability that had a really long reuse time as well. So then when Idriel came in, used Stunning Strike, well, the enemy couldn't attack, and since my other two characters were still cooling down essentially, she was able to get another attack off right away. So it looked like she got 2 turns in a row, but in fact it was just because everybody else was either sleeping, stunned, or, you know, was cooling down from an attack. So hopefully that explains that. Alright, I'm just gonna keep pounding him with Flaming Fury, I guess. Yeah, why not? And then this is actually a decent move here. So I Crippling Shot to wake this guy up, even though the archer is still alive. I was fairly confident though that was gonna be an okay move, since really anybody can just finish him off. This, I don't know. I think it would have been a better move, in all honesty, to just keep crippling the vet. Because now I don't have an answer. Well, okay, so I guess I'm gonna go for the big win here on this guy and just try to finish him off. So the thing with Berthor is he doesn't have any, as of right now anyway, he doesn't have a way to either cripple or, you know, slow, you know, using that term loosely, or stun. Again, you know, that's for right now. He does get a stunning swordcraft skill much later, which is, I don't know, it's a little silly that they stuck it so far down his tree, but you know what, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. He gets so many other, you know, awesome, especially his leadership skills, that I'm okay with it. All right. What do we get there? Some battle items. I don't know. I'm always looking in random weird places. I feel like that you almost need to, though, in this game. It's and maybe it's oh wait, where is that? Oh, okay, there we go. All right, so I was like, where did the Palantir go? That's kind of weird. Anyways, and maybe that's because I've played, you know, there's a really good MMO, or was a really good MMO once upon a time. I'm not sure if it still is or not, but Lord of the Rings Online, and I love that game. It had you know, back in the day, it was really good. Anyways, these days, I don't know. I haven't played it for a few years, so I'm not sure if it's very good anymore. But anyways, long story short, it had a lot of really cool places that you could go. You know, and you know, if you're a fan of the Lord of the Rings series and of the movies and whatnot, it's a, you know, it was definitely an enjoyable game. And one of the reasons why it was just because of the areas that you go to and the kind of like the scenery. And I feel like this game's got a lot of that too. Obviously Moria here, I love you know, essentially the great halls where, you know, you've got these really big wide open areas with the pillars, and then the contrast to that is, you know, the more tight areas, and then you've got you know, the pits, or the Great Pit, where, you know, you get to see the Balrog climbing up on the walls and stuff, and it's, you know, I don't know, I think it adds a lot to the game. But anyways, as far as this fight goes, it's not, alright, I don't know, what is the guy here? I don't think that's a vet. Yeah, I don't think that, maybe. Normally now I can tell just off of their portraits. Or it's easier for me to tell what these enemies... Yeah, that guy does look like he's dual wielding, isn't he? Alright, so maybe that is a vet. Anyways, always a good idea to sleep those guys right off the bat. If you don't... If somebody like Barathor goes first, you can very well use Stand Fast if you've got that. And, you know, then that'll just make you immune to its stun strike, so then you don't need to worry as much about getting a sleep off right away. But you know, if that is an option, then I guess that would be how I would choose to start off the fight. And then we're back to crippling. Good old crippling strike. Crippling smash. Crippling smash. That's it, right? I always get the names kind of wonky. Either, you know, it's something. Some things are smashes, and some things are strikes, and some things are shots. Everybody loves shots, right? Maybe not those kinds of shots. Anywho, why am I missing? Hadhad, why are you missing? Do I not have Valor up, or am I just bad? I'm not sure, but sometime around this point, I feel like my misses did start to go kind of through the roof, which was disappointing. I was hoping that that my days of, you know, being able to get away with either not using Valor as much or even just using Valor was, you know, enough to do all right. But alas, those times have to end, and we start missing.
Goblin scum have defaced this place. My lord, I apologize. I shall avenge your honor.
A spy! He is going to warn others!
Alright, it's troll time. Time to get trolled. No one likes getting trolled. Alright, anyway. This troll is no different than the previous one in that it can be paralyzed or crippled. Both are fairly effective. I guess the the risk with going for the paralyze right off the bat is if you miss, because paralyzing shots got quite a bit of a longer cooldown time, so you know, you'll be just standing around for a while if you do miss. Now, if it does connect, though, it's essentially. I almost wonder if it doesn't last like as long as sleep, because it seems like sleep lasts for like, I don't know, 2 cycles or so of a enemy's normal turn, which I kind of feel the same way about the paralyze. It definitely, unfortunately, it doesn't last the entire rest of the fight. Although I suppose that may be a little overpowered once you paralyze something, you wouldn't have to worry about it ever again. So, that being said, you know, if you've got a decent amount of dexterity and you know, if you toss up Valor, you shouldn't have to worry too much about missing. And then the good thing about that is then Elagos could technically help out with the archer, because you'll have a couple of free turns where the troll won't be able to attack. Alright, let's see what I decide to do here. Alright, odd choice. I always feel like I'll look away for a little bit, and I'm not sure if I've buffed or not. But generally, that's always the way that you're gonna want to start out I almost would argue that it's any fight. I mean, depending on how much dexterity you have and whatnot, and what skills you plan on actually using. But you know, that's usually always a really good start to any fight. Is get things kind of under control, whether that being crippling shots or get things sleeping, and then buff up. Or I'd almost argue that you'd want to buff Valor first, because then you'll just make sure that you are actually connecting with your cripples or your sleep arrows and that sort of thing. So I don't know. Again, sometimes I feel like I look away for a second and I feel like I either miss something or, you know, I don't know. I guess the question is whether or not I'm using the skills well or effectively. It's looking like this guy hasn't gotten turned yet. And so who is it? Is it only? No, okay. So Idriel and Hadhod right now have some sort of damaging, like a damage over time skill. Idriel's is in her sword tree, and obviously Hadhod is in his axe tree, and those are good skills I feel to use against the trolls, just because they have so much health. All right, Riven Steel Pauldrons was that for Hadhod, and let's see, defeated Troll 2 of 9. All right, making our way here. Yeah, look at his speed. I really pumped up his speed now, though he's level 24 now, so it's about time, I guess, that he got kind of on par with everybody else. Alright, equip those pauldrons and let's get on our way. Alright. Kind of thought maybe there'd be a treasure there, but Kandorian Steel Citadel Guard the Pauldron. Wow, that was a mouthful. Jeez. We should cut down on the descriptions, guys. Takes me too long to talk about it. Just kidding. Alright, let's equip these bad boys. Those look pretty cool. Can I make it to the chest? Yep, alright. King's Foil and Lembas. Meh, okay, whatever. I'll take it. Alright, searching for secret passageways, and I'm not seeing any. I see a big hole in the ground. Ah, yeah, here it is. I kind of like that they added, you know, they didn't just do just the Palantir. They added the, like the goblins will kind of jump out of nowhere. Kind of a neat effect. Anyways. Shield. Wow, I have that already? Okay. That's kind of crazy, actually. So, I don't remember doing much, I guess, like, skill point farming with my characters from the very beginning, I guess, of the, well, basically right after I got Elagast. I did a bunch, and I kind of went crazy a little bit with getting skill points and whatnot. And then, I don't really remember farming skill points again until the very end of Moria, so I'm a little surprised that Hadhod already has that ability. But, anyways. I guess I'll try to point that out to the spot that I did a bunch of leveling at. I know what I actually did. I waited until I got Hadhod's next helmet because that helmet, I know I've mentioned it before, but it is so cool. Hopefully it won't be too much longer. I don't remember exactly where it was at. I feel like maybe it's probably another 2 videos, maybe 3. I guess it's kind of hard to say. I don't really remember these areas very well. It shouldn't be too much longer though. Crippling shot. Cripple that dude. Cripple him. Put that guy to sleep. He doesn't need to be awake right now. He doesn't have to be up for work yet. Let's just go right back to okay. Hey, you gotta make some of these battles kind of fun, right? Otherwise, eek. Oh, Toby. What about new Toby? Alright, looks like those guys are vulnerable to paralyzing shot as well. So that's not a bad idea if you... I think if you wake them up using paralyzing shot, I don't think they can, you know, depending on the enemy, they won't be able to perform any actions. Or at least they shouldn't be able to. So that being said, if you don't want to take a bunch of turns with Elagos, you know, right away, or if you want to work on your ranger craft instead, you can wake things up with paralyzing shot instead of crippling. I know I actually ended up maxing out Elagos bow tree before the ranger tree. And reason being, I spam crippling shot all the time, so. Arnor mushrooms. I thought those were good. I'm not sure. Something tells me though those are pretty good. I almost wonder if those are the item that actually I can check right now. Mushrooms, where are you? Mushrooms. Okay, well I have an item in my inventory that's just mushrooms. It says it doubles action points for the battle. I don't know how useful that is, I'll be honest. I thought there was an item here though that makes it so that you don't use. It is. It's Arnor mushrooms. Okay. Free use of action points for the battle. I'm kind of curious now. I feel like I should have used those for one of the fights coming up, and I'll try to point that out. But I guess those would be really, really good if you wanted to like farm skill points. And what I mean by that is if you've got something like, or if Elagos has something like Grace of Athelas. Anyways, if he's got that skill, it's extremely expensive. It's like 100 AP, but it doesn't damage the enemy. Okay. Sleep volley. All right. So as far as passives go, for Elagos, I would definitely suggest going into that sleep volley as soon as you can. That's gonna make it so that sleep arrow affects all enemies. And again, you know, I've brought that up before, but that's just an insane ability. All right, Flaming Fury and Dare Flame. In all honesty, the rest of these spirit powers they're okay. Damaging shield, there really isn't much reason to learn that over devastating shield, because devastating shield affects all of your party members. It's almost kind of redundant, unfortunately, for Hadhad and his spirit powers. 2 of his abilities are like that, and they're both his shield skills. So one shield only affects one member, so Stone Shield is the single target version. And then he's got Mountain Shield, which affects all your members. And then he's got, Damaging Shield is the single target. And then there's Devastating Shield, which is the multi-target.
Oh, watch
Watch out!
Do not worry.
I have you! Hurry! It's all giving way!
Gerith filleth nin. Come!
My understanding, if you've got the subtitles turned on, which I unfortunately didn't, my understanding though is Idril says something like, "You have my love," or something like that right there. Like, how corny. I don't know. Sorry. Anyways. I thought it was super corny. So again, you know, on the subject of Hadhad's spirit abilities, unfortunately, they feel a little redundant, but I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. They're still insanely powerful. I really like that mountain shield. You know, stone shield is great too, but mountain shield, that's just borderline overpowered. Unfortunately, though, they come with an extremely high AP cost. So, if you're focusing on a physical-based Hadhad, that is going to probably become a pretty huge issue for you. You're not really going to be able to use those abilities probably as much as you'd like. But again, I'm going down the, or I guess I'm focusing more on a spirit-oriented Hadhad, so you'll see in the future how that all plays out. Granted, I guess you can get a little bit of a picture right now. I'm starting to finally build or put points into his spirit power. Is unfortunately trying to get him up to speed. Womp womp. Has obviously taken up quite a bit of his available skill points, but c'est la vie. Look at these guys. These guys just don't even stand a chance anymore. I've got their number. There you go. Loudwater Fury is doing work right now. And Idril from this point on is just getting it even more ridiculous. She just starts getting so good. Shouldn't say that. She's always good. Nighty night. That's that. Next. Actually, I think we're getting really close to the end of this video, so I'm sure let's put some stat points into our characters here. Alright, looks like we got a little split between speed and spirit there. Maybe not such a bad idea. I think these characters have way more speed than they really need, but that's okay. Alright, what do we got going on here? Challenge of Gondor is crap. I never taunt. Ever. And Haste of the Valor, I expect that will be our next. Yes. That's going to increase the effectiveness of your haste spell, which is completely awesome. Sleep Volley, looks like we're learning that. And I don't know what Hadhad's doing right now. Like I said earlier, I kind of messed up his passives a little bit. I mean, it's hard to say that they're really messed up, but I just went and, yeah. So I've got points in different weird orders. Anyways, let's cut this here. So I hope these guides are helpful, and hope you guys keep watching. And thanks for joining me.